This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Female constable in Donaldson's disappearance case off frontline duty. The female district constable who is being investigated in the case of missing social media influencer Donnelly Donaldson has been removed from frontline duty by Police High Command as the probe deepens, the news has learned. Attorney at law Oswest Senior Smith explained that this move by the Police High Command did not mean that the district constable had been formally named as a suspect, and maintained that the move did not imply any wrongdoing on the part of his client. She is still at work. She has not been interdicted or suspended. She has been removed from frontline duties by the JCF pending the outcome of the investigation, but that does not mean that she has been formally named as a suspect, Senior Smith told the news. He believes that the public pressure created by recent protests and intense media scrutiny has pushed the police force to act with full transparency in the case to reassure the public. Donaldson was reported missing on July 13. According to police reports, on July 11, about 10 p.m., Donaldson was picked up at her house by her boyfriend, Constable Noel Maitland, in a black BMW motor car to spend the night with him at an apartment located at the Chelsea Manor in Kingston. However, on July 12, Donaldson's mother, Sophia Lugg, reported to police that she had not seen or heard from her daughter. Reports further indicated that Constable Maitland from Constant Spring Police Station, who is the father of a child for a district constable at the Halfway Tree Police Station, told Lugg that Donaldson left his apartment on Tuesday, July 12, sometime after 11 a.m. and has not been seen or heard from since. The police have repeatedly told the public that they are treating the case as a high priority one. Several public protests have been held to highlight the social media influencer's disappearance in the corporate area, and at least one protest has been planned by the UK. In the meantime, Senior Smith noted that there have been many false and erroneous reports being propagated online by social media influencers who have been making baseless claims regarding his client's role in Donaldson's disappearance. He hinted that his client may soon be taking legal action against the offending parties. We will be pursuing remedies from the various social media platforms at the appropriate time, Senior Smith said. St. Elizabeth farmer chased and shot dead. Police are probing the shooting death of a man in Magotty, St. Elizabeth on Tuesday. Police identified the deceased as a 47-year-old Courtney Dunkley, a farmer and a resident of Cedar Spring District in Magotty. A police report said about 6:30 a.m., Dunkley was heading to his farm when a minibus with two men aboard drove up. One of the men alighted from the vehicle armed with a gun. Dunkley was chased and shot multiple times. The police were alerted and Dunkley was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Two St. Anne men face multiple charges after kidnapping 8-month-old baby. Two men have been arrested and charged with illegal possession of firearm, burglary, unlawful wounding, and assault at a common law after breaking into a house at Mansfield Heights in Oteria, St. Anne on Friday, July 22, and taking an 8-month-old child. Charged are 21-year-old Kevin Lyons, laborer of Buckfield, St. Anne, and the 21-year-old Nicole Grandison of Tulle Street in Mansfield Heights. Reports are that about 11 p.m., three armed men broke into a home of a woman and left her with a baby after stabbing the complainant's son in the side. Grandison and the Lyons were later arrested and charged on Sunday, July 24. 15-year-old St. Andrew boy commits suicide. A 15-year-old boy reportedly committed suicide in the Stony Hill area of St. Andrew on Monday. The teenager has been identified as Chad Lester, a student of Brandon Hill in St. Andrew. Reports from the Stony Hill police are that sometime between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m., Lester was found hanging from the ceiling of the house with a sheet tied around his neck. A note was also found in a section of the house. The police are investigating the incident. 2 shot dead, 3 others injured in Clarendon attack. Two persons, including a 16-year-old boy, were shot dead in East Clarendon on Monday evening. At least 3 other persons were shot and injured, reports say. A group of men were reportedly at a shop when a car drove up and allegedly gunmen alighted and opened fire. The Corporate Communications Unit of the Jamaica Constabulary Force confirmed a shooting in Hayes, but said it had no specific details. Police following strong leads after deadly shooting in Waterhouse. The police say they are following strong leads in relation to Tuesday morning's deadly attack in Waterhouse, St. Andrew. 4 men were shot, 1 fatally, when armed men traveling in 2 vehicles drove through the community sometime after 9 o'clock and opened fire on residents in an area known as a Red Bridge. 20-year-old Alton Haffenden died in the attack. Senior Superintendent Kirk Ricketts, head of the St. Andrew South Police, told the news that investigators have identified suspects.
We are getting some good information from persons on the ground and in other communities that we believe to be these men could be coming from. We believe that we have identities of some persons who might be involved, and at this time I would not want to name these individuals. We're going to be working to see if we can interdict them as soon as possible. At one stage later, I might be naming some names for persons to turn themselves in. But we are getting assistance. There are some theories going around, and we're exploring all of them. In fact, there was an incident on Saturday in the Balmaji area where an individual was stabbed and killed. There is some information pointing to that this situation could be as a result of that.
Police identify alleged kidnapper shot dead in Manchester. The suspect, who was fatally shot on Monday evening by the police after allegedly kidnapping a woman in Mandeville, Manchester, was out on bail on gun-related charges. The police say Jermaine Robinson of a Greenvale Road address in Mandeville was reporting to the Mandeville police 3 times weekly. He was shot by a police team which responded to the kidnapping. It's reported that the woman was driving a Toyota Mark X on the New Green Main Road about 6 p.m. when a car crashed into the back of her vehicle. The woman alighted to investigate, and the 3 men, one of whom was armed with a gun, forced her into the Mark X. The men drove away with the woman and reportedly demanded $500,000 for her safe release. She was allowed to contact a family member who alerted the police. The police say the vehicle was found along Marshall Crescent in midday. The team was reportedly fired on by the men, and this led to a shootout. One of the men was shot and the others escaped. The injured man, Jermaine Robinson, was pronounced dead at hospital. A 9mm Browning pistol with a magazine containing 2 rounds was reportedly seized. September wait for details on Johnson Smith's financing for Commonwealth campaign. Jamaica will have to wait until September to hear details of the financing of Foreign Affairs Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith's failed campaign for Commonwealth Secretary General after Prime Minister Andrew Holness missed Tuesday's deadline to respond to questions tabled by the parliamentary opposition. The questions were tabled on June 28 by MP Julian Robinson for the Prime Minister to provide answers within 21 days. During Tuesday's sitting of the House of Representatives, Mr. Robinson sought an update on the responses, noting that they are overdue and that today, Tuesday, is the last sitting before the summer recess. Leader of Government Business Edmund Bartlett responded, saying the questions will be answered at the very next sitting of the House. Mr. Robinson has asked for the total cost for Mrs. Johnson-Smith's campaign, airfare, accommodation, marketing and communication, and whether foreign entities helped to fund it. In addition, the Prime Minister has been asked to provide details on the cost for all persons who traveled to Rwanda for the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting and how those costs were covered.
Madam Speaker, could the House Leader indicate when the Prime Minister will answer the questions that have been tabled in my name? They are overdue for answer, and my understanding is that today is the last sitting before the summer recess. So the questions related to the cost of the campaign for the Commonwealth Secretary General.
Madam Speaker, the questions will be answered at the very next sitting of the House.
Man in JCF's wanted Wednesday's campaign charged with murder. 30-year-old Francel Lawrence, otherwise called the Bujo of Spanish Town, St. Catherine, who turned himself into the police on Monday, has been charged with murder. Lawrence was featured in the Wanted Wednesday's campaign by the Jamaica Constabulary Force. He has also been charged with murder, illegal possession of firearm, and shooting with intent in connection with an incident in Roaring River, Westmoreland on May 26. A court date is being finalized. It is alleged that about 1:15 a.m. on May 26, Lawrence and the 3 other men, all armed with handguns, gained entry to the deceased man's home and opened gunfire. The police were alerted, and upon their arrival, 2 men were taken to the hospital with gunshot wounds. One of them was pronounced dead. The other man was admitted in critical condition. The deceased was later identified as 22-year-old O'Neill Rodney, otherwise called the Price of Darling Street, Savannah Lamar in Westmoreland. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.